We're going to call the meeting to order. I'd like to welcome everyone to the June 28th, 2024 Pittsburgh Regional Transit meeting. Our first order of business will be the Pledge of Allegiance. Everyone, please rise. Following this will be a moment of silent reflection. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated if you're able. We will start with a roll call today. We're going to start with our new members. Ms. Schcler. Present. Ms. McClinney. Present. Okay, and then Ms. Orgoric. Here. Ms. Magorski. Present. Mr. Tagg. Mr. Turman. Ms. Turman. Here. Mr. Totten. Here. And I think online we have Senator Brewster. Probably coming on. And Allie Doyle. Here. Okay. Can you let us know when Senator jumps on, please? Thank you. All right. The first order of business is the approval of the minutes of the May 24, 2024 meeting. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Our next would be our report from our Chief Executive Officer, Catherine Kellerman.
Good morning. Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Good morning. May I please have a moment of silence for the following retired employees who have passed away since last we met. Operators David Caddies, Lawrence Fisher, Patrick Haddock, Nathan Mayle, James Rakin, Dennis Smith, Jeffrey Stout, and Charles Wiggins, automotive mechanic Joseph Vargo, bus assignment shifter Kenneth Pollard, body repair person Robert Ziegler, and service person Kenneth Winwood. Thank you. Today, I'd like to start off also by welcoming our newest board members, Emma Schuker and Tina McClinney, and thank our outgoing board chair, Jeff Letwin, and board member Michelle Zmianik for their many, many years of dedicated service to our board and our region. Serving on the board of a public transit agency requires a remarkable level of dedication and a significant investment of time and energy. Board members often participate in numerous meetings, community engagement activities, and strategic planning sessions, all while balancing the rest of their careers and the rest of their lives. Their commitment to improving public transit every day directly impacts the quality of life for all of us who rely on transit. So thank you in advance and welcome. I also want to wish a happy retirement to Mike Heidkamp, who's going to have to come up here. Mike began his career here. Mike began his career 30 years ago as an operator. Are there other operators here today? Whoop, whoop. Okay, good. So Mike started his career in operations, and he has been an instructor, manager, director, deputy chief, and chief. Cheese and rice. You've done it all, but you know that. I hope you get to relax and fish and spend time with Weston, who looks amazing. And you don't need to worry about here because you've done an amazing job and built an amazing team. And I want to personally say, I didn't know if you'd take me up 6 years ago. I thought you would not. And between COVID and vaccine mandates and sinkhole buses and Fernholler bridges, floods, I think I should stop the list there. You did it, man. And look what you've done. And I'm so proud of you and excited for you. And I'm going to cry too, so I'm going to stop. So can we have a clap? I'd also like to operate 10 operators who've received the most commendations in 2023, which is, of course, how I knew there were operators here, but there we go. Operators, you guys drive a vehicle 3 times the length of a big SUV on our very interesting streets with very interesting people. We don't pick them, we just serve them, right? That's the nature of public service. You give directions, you give customer service, you are babysitters, even if you don't mean to be, you are crisis intervention, you are marriage counselors. And you're nice doing all of this, which is actually probably the hardest thing. So your job is customer service in a 40 to 50,000 pound vehicle, right? Or 100,000 pounds. But your job is customer service and you do an amazing job. We know how easy it is for somebody to call in if they're upset about something, but it takes an extra nudge for somebody to call in on something good. And everyone here has had at least 5 commendations in this year. So I want you to think about what work goes into getting 5 people who don't know you. Maybe it's your mom, I don't know. But realistically, to get 5 folks who don't know you to call in and recognize the amazing service you give Allegheny County every day. So we'll be doing lunch and photos on the 7th floor after the meeting. But when I call your name, please come on up and accept your award, starting with, I'm just going to make that your chair, Jim. From Ross Division, James Bonner. Have we had a year where you haven't been up here for this? No. You're like, I wouldn't know. I wasn't here. I mean, you have the cup. Didn't we get you a jacket?
Yeah, I think it was a cup.
Something. Yeah, we got to get the jacket next. Then we'll get you pants and shoes, and you're looking like Elvis before you're out of here. More blue shirts. I see that you're still wearing Port Authority. Mm-hmm. Yeah, take a no pictures later. Wait. From West Mifflin, Monique Wynn, Monica Staples, Don Miguel Watson Ellis Sr., and Mark Prunty. All right, Mifflin, sending 4 people up here. Okay. Congratulations, everybody. Thank you. From East Liberty, Donna Gandy, Tiffany Lawson, and Kevin Pollard. From Collier, Kamal Smith. And from South Hills Village, Vernon Hutt. And all the teasing with Jim aside, many of you are up here every year. You take everything the city and the agency, you take everything that's thrown at you, and you are still giving us excellent service. I individually cannot thank you enough. On behalf of the agency, can't thank you enough. And thank you for staying on this crazy ride with everybody here at Pittsburgh Regional Transit. Thank you so much. And yesterday we announced that starting on July 1st, which is right around the corner, we'll be extending our digital customer service hours by 2 hours every weekday and an hour on Saturdays and Sundays. I'm really excited about this. It doesn't feel like a lot, but if you can't get that call answered at whatever 01, this makes a big difference for you. This also directly helps these operators you see here because now customer service is able to provide that support as opposed to the operators having to answer all these questions in addition to focusing on safe operations. During these hours, our customer service representatives will post service alerts and social media in true time and respond to inquiries via the chat at rideprt.org. So it's our first expansion on the digital side. We will continue to expand our hours in phases through the year as we hire up more folks. The way that we reach our riders and how they reach us has completely changed over the years, and we are excited to be able to provide additional information when our riders want it and not how we think they wanted it 10 years ago. By expanding digital customer service hours, we can equip transit riders across the county with more information so they can be more confident and capable of making decisions on what's going on. Riders can also sign up manually to PGH Transit Alerts. I'm just going to keep saying Twitter because I'm just going to keep saying Twitter. So at PGH Transit Alerts. To sign up, you can visit truetime.rideprt.org and click the subscribe button. That will give you individualized alerts for your route or your route or the section that you're looking at on your rail. And I'm excited to announce Saman Incline will be free all day on the 4th of July. It's going to be a hot day, y'all, and there's no air conditioning, so plan wisely. But it's the biggest day of the year for our neighbors up in Mount Washington, and we want to support our neighbors in the community. I hope everyone has a fun and safe 4th of July. Eat as much barbecue as you possibly can. And unless there's any questions, Madam Chair, that concludes my remarks. Thank you.
Congratulations to everyone who won awards today. It's fantastic. Our first report will be from the Performance and Oversight Committee member, Ms. Gorski.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Performance Oversight Committee met last week, and I have 3 resolutions for the board's consideration. The committee first reviewed 4 procurement items, including a contract to furnish and deliver ultra-low sulfur diesel fuel to PRT's operating locations for use in its bus fleet over a 1-year period, and determined the bids to be in accordance with PRT's procurement policies and procedures and prices to be fair and reasonable. The Performance Oversight Committee recommends the award of bids listed in the resolution for the total amount of $18,600,170.96. My fellow members, I respectfully request the board approve this resolution.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, motion carries.
Next is a resolution seeking to extend and amend an agreement with Aon Risk Services Central, Inc. to provide property and casualty risk management services. In June 2021, PRT entered into an agreement with Aon to perform these services for an initial term of 3 years for a total not to exceed amount $285,000 to be allocated on an as-needed basis through task-specific work orders. The agreement also includes 2 option years to be exercised by PRT in its sole discretion. To date, services performed by Aon have been satisfactory and in compliance with this agreement. The Performance Oversight Committee recommends extending the agreement for the first option year to September 30th, 2025, and to increase the total not to exceed amount for the agreement by $95,000. My fellow members, I respectfully request that the board approve this resolution.
Thank you. With that, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, motion carries.
The final resolution is to award a construction contract for the parking lot paving and site improvement project at the South Hills Junction. To perform the work for the contract, bid documents were prepared and publicly advertised, and 3 bids were received. The Performance Oversight Committee recommends that a contract be awarded to the low responsible bidder, Melly and Sons, Inc., in the amount of $6,333,737, subject to completing all pre-award requirements. My fellow members, I respectfully request the board approve this resolution.
Thank you. With that, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, motion carries.
Unless there are any questions, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Member Ms. Gorski. Next, we'll move on to the report of the Planning and Stakeholder Relations Committee, Member Tay.
This will be my last report as a board member. Good morning, Madam Chair, fellow board members and stakeholders. The Planning and Stakeholders Relations Committee met last week. I have a few items for the board. First, Chief Development Officer Amy Silverman presented the quarterly update on the University Line to the University PRT project. Construction of Phase 1 began in September 2023 in the downtown area. Most station elements should be in place by the end of 2024, but the bus lane installation and painting will likely go into the spring of 2025. Currently, crews are at 7 locations downtown. Phase 2 will then proceed to the Uptown and Oakland neighborhoods, with construction set to begin in the spring of 2025. Construction is expected to be last 24 months on that phase, ending in 2027. The total project will cost approximately $291 million, which was funded using federal grants, some matching funds from the city, county, and PRT funding. The second item is that the Director of Transit Amenity, Darcy Cleaver, and Executive Director of Access, Karen Haas, gave a Access overview presentation. Sponsored by PRT and working with other community partners, Access helped connect eligible individuals with disabilities and seniors to trips to events, shopping, medical service, and more, with door-to-door service with a shared ride service. 4 providers with 250 vehicles provide service and are funded at several partnering sources, which are managed by Transview, serving as a broker under a contract with PRT. Access is dealing with many of the same challenges as PRT. In 2023, ridership was only 79% of pre-pandemic. However, 2024 has seen a 5% increase over 2023. Driver recruitment and retention, ridership return, vehicle availability, and price have offered challenges as well. However, with an on-time performance of 93%, the service exceeds ADA minimums for service area, days and hours of service, fares and door-to-door service, or hand-to-hand interaction. Same-day service is new offering and can accommodate about half of the requests that come in. The third item is the Allegheny Transit Council met on June 26th. Manager of Digital Communication, Lori Flores, provided an overview of the customer service department. The next scheduled meeting is on July 24th. The Committee for Accessible Transportation met on June 18th. There was a special meeting scheduled by PRT to discuss the bus line redesign project. The bus line redesign project, led by Director of Planning and Service Development, Derek Dolphin, provided the committee with an update on the project and sought their feedback on the status of the project. Their next meeting is scheduled for July 11th. Unless there are additional questions, that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Tagg. With that, we'll move on to the report of the Finance Committee. Member O'Rourke.
Morning, Chair and fellow board members. The Finance Committee met on Thursday, June 20th, and I have 3 items, including 2 resolutions to report. The first resolution is seeking authorization to adopt collective bargaining agreements with Port Authority Transit Police Association, covering transit police officers and sergeants and lieutenants. The current agreement covering transit police officers expires on July 31st, 2024, and the current agreement covering sergeants and lieutenants expires on July 31st, 2025. Over the past several months, representatives from PRT and the Police Association have engaged in good faith bargaining in an effort to reach new agreements. PRT and the Police Association have agreed on the proposed terms and conditions of both agreements as summarized on Exhibit A and Exhibit B attached to the resolution. It was reported at the meeting that the Police Association has recently ratified the proposed terms of both amended agreements. The Finance Committee recommends approving and ratifying both the amended rank and file agreement and the amended supervisors agreement as outlined in the resolution. My fellow members, I respectfully request the board approve this resolution.
Thank you very much. With that, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second. I'll take that as a second. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thanks. The next resolution seeks authorization to establish the 3rd year budget with TransDev Services, Inc. for providing professional services to coordinate and administer paratransit services for individuals with disabilities and older adults in Allegheny County also known as Access. In April 2022, PRT's board authorized the award of a 5-year agreement with Transdev Services, Inc. to provide the services. The agreement specifies that a not-to-exceed budget be established by the board each fiscal year. The Finance Committee recommends a proposed not-to-exceed amount for the agreement's third contract year, covering the period July 1, 2024 through June 30th, 2025, in the total amount of $2,546,000. My fellow members, I respectfully request the board approve this resolution.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second being heard. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Next, the following is a review of the May financial results presented at last week's meeting. It was reported that total operating income for the month of May was under budget by $500,000 due to lower passenger revenue, access shared ride revenue, and advertising. Total expenses for the month of May were below budget by $300,000 due to lower wages and benefits and purchase services expense. Total operating income is $7.2 million higher than last fiscal year through May due to higher passenger revenue, access shared ride revenue, and interest income. Total expenses through May are $20 million higher than last fiscal year due to higher expenses in every category. Total subsidy is $5.2 million higher than last fiscal year due to higher state assistance and preventative maintenance. As of May 2024, the total remaining federal stimulus balance is $27.1 million of CRISA funds. Finally, PRT ended the month of May with approximately $395.5 million in operating reserves. Unless there are any questions or comments, that concludes my report.
Thank you very much for your report. Next, we'll move to the report of Technology Committee. That'll be me. And I'll start off. We met on June 20th, and there are 2 resolutions that I have to present today. The first resolution under the awarding of bids portion of the meeting includes 2 purchase requests. The first, Cisco networking equipment and licensing, for the provision of equipment and maintenance for the purposes of the PRT's internal network monitoring is being recommended for contract award by Dices Solutions Incorporated in an estimated total of $1,172,655.70. You know, I love those cents on all the resolutions. Thanks, guys, for that. The second item will utilize the CoStar state schedule for the purchase of iGel. Thank you for the phonetic spelling there. Software licenses, training modules, and associated training support services in the amount of $113,383.21. The committee concluded that the equipment and services are needed and that the prices are fair and reasonable. And I respectfully request from the board vote in favor of this resolution to authorize these award of bids. So with that, I will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
Motion and second heard. Any question or discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The second resolution that I'll present was a sole source software support and maintenance agreement for existing gyro software, which is the integral to numerous PRT systems. This agreement is being recommended for 3 years at a total not to exceed amount of $2,121,540. The committee concluded that these services are needed and the prices are fair and reasonable, and respectfully recommends that the board vote in favor of the resolution to authorize this contract. With that, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second being heard. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Thank you. Motion carries. I do not have any new business, although after public comment, I will ask for a moment of personal preference to allow our outgoing members to say a few words. But next, I'd like to move on to public comment. Joy Dorrit?
I'm right here. I break, I can't take, but you forgive me. I'm deaf and I'm looking at the interpreter. Good morning. I want to thank you for allowing me to speak to the board. Thank you for the excellent drivers, some of whom picked me up in the city's Hazelwood neighborhood. Thank you, John Kay, for your many years speaking of disabilities, your years of service, uplifting the members of the disability community and the general community. And thanks to everybody here. I'm here to talk about the stroller policy today. So I'm concerned that on a lot of buses, well, it's not easy being a parent, and I'm a parent and a grandparent. It's also not easy being a person with a disability in a wheelchair. Many of them have lived here their whole lives. They work their whole lives. Our seniors deserve to have a place at the metaphorical table and on the bus too. A lot of these strollers, unfortunately, have been displacing individuals with disabilities. This is a new policy for many years. People were told, including when I had kids, to hold up the strollers on the bus. Now I understand there's times that the bus might not be as busy, and that's okay. But what's not okay is when you have a crowded bus, and there's many of them, especially at rush hour. The 61C is one random example. The fact that I've watched time after time as people can't get to medically necessary appointments, and we know that those appointments are hard to get with your or to work or the other necessary services because there's just a bunch of open stores. Now, federal law says that people with disabilities and the elderly should have priority on those seats. So please consider that the huge value that our seniors have brought to this community when we're considering the stroller policy and prioritizing an individual with a disability over a stroller. Now, there are strollers that are for children with disabilities. That's an exception. I'm talking about baby strollers here. I want to thank you for your time and consideration. Have a great day.
Okay, thank you. Next, we have Andrew Hussein. Is Andrew online today? Oh, Andrew, you're here. I'm sorry. Hello. I didn't see you back there.
Rarity, huh?
Yeah, welcome.
Good morning, Port Authority Board. First of all, I would like to thank the outgoing members for their time at PRT, and I hope that the new members will continue to lead PRT forward in a positive direction. With that out of the way, first I would like to express, I don't know if she's going to be online or in person today, but I'm sure Amy will be covering it later, some disappointment with the Beachview shuttles with regards to the fact that, surprise, surprise, the 42 and 37 have, for lack of a better phrase, been a dumpster fire as far as actually being covered, as well as the routing. Plus, Port Authority told people at a public meeting in Beachview unequivocally that there would be phased service over the summer for the Beachview shuttles, both bus and rail, and that they would eventually extend the shuttles back to Potomac Station once the hillside that's preventing the train from going beyond Dormont is remedied. However, the schedule that is out there now implies that this is not the case, as both the Phase 1 and Phase 2 Red Line short shuttle train schedule are showing that the shuttle is only going to go to Dormont all summer, even once the hillside is done. The only difference for Phase 2 is that the schedules were adjusted by 1 to 2 minutes later operating times for the trips. So disappointment there. Moving on, also speaking of disappointment, while I applaud Port Authority for working with DHS and Pittsburghers for Public Transit and other groups in making the Fair Fares DHS Allegheny County Go program available, I'm going to flag it here, even though it took 2 months of finally getting somebody to address this. But the AC Go passes, if you buy a 7-day or 31-day pass, are expiring 3 hours earlier than what somebody who would be buying a normal pass or a pass through any other program gets, which is not okay for essentially poor people to have a pass expire at 11:59 p.m. and told they got to buy another pass or pay another fare if they happen to be out at 11:59 p.m. on the last day of that pass, while everybody else is told, oh, no, you get till 3 a.m. end of service, till the very last bus, no questions asked. So I hope that the technology team is looking at that ASAP strongly, and hopefully no missteps in the future if more fair products become available have these such issues, to make sure that we're giving everybody the same exact
Next speaker will be Amy Zace. Amy's online today, correct? Hi, Amy.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Please proceed.
Wonderful. Thank you. Well, my name is Amy Zace. I live in the Beachview neighborhood, so I'm serviced by the Red Line most of the time. I want to welcome the new board members and thank everybody on the board for your leadership, as well as CEO Catherine Kellerman. I know I've been a frequent speaker here, often with a lot of criticisms, so I want to just begin with a few commendations. I am, very pleased to have seen the outreach around the closure, the major closure of the Red Line service. The public meeting was well attended and well done by the leadership team in PRT. I've been pleased to see the physical signage and maps that have been made available to riders. I've seen PRT employees out during, commuting hours speaking with riders to remind them of the service changes. And so thank you for all of that. I want to also thank you for example, the Potomac 42 shuttle. I heard from operators that it was the bus stop was being blocked. They often didn't have a place to lay over between runs, and it seems like that was quickly addressed. So I appreciate your agile nature in responding to issues as they come up. I guess to shift a little bit and echo some of Andrew's points, it still has been imperfect, and I appreciate the opportunity to come here and be able to speak as a rider in the area about what has been going on. The transfer between the two shuttles is really less than ideal, timing wise, and also physical distance. And also the nature of the stops being having no shade. Example, if I want to go from Beachview to Mount Lebanon, it's what used to be a nice, pleasant, short, 5-minute trolley ride is now 40 minutes or something because I'm waiting for one trolley or one replacement bus going down to Potomac, walking a quarter of a mile, standing out in the sun on Washington Road with a lot of traffic and car exhaust, waiting another 10 minutes for another bus just to be able to get down to the rail shuttle, and then I can get to Mount Lebanon. Or I could continue on to Castle Shannon and just walk off. So again, thank you for everything you've done and for being responsive to riders' concerns, but I think there is still more work to do. And before I run out of time, thank you also for expanding customer service. It has been a constant drumbeat that I think I've spoken about here, and it's very, very much needed. And I look forward to seeing continual improvements. And I want to urge the leadership to do communication and outreach about the True Time service. I've been subscribed to SMS messages for
Ms.
over a
Zeiss,
year and a half.
do you mind just summarize a little bit? You're over, but I'll let you summarize your statement.
Of course, True Time SMS alerts have gotten remarkably improved over the last year. And I would hope and assume that with the digital service expansion, they will continue to improve. And I urge you to make a communication effort to riders so they know how to sign up for that because it's a very great service. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker is Lorena Pena. Is she online or, you know? Okay, Ms. Pena? Is she on? Do we see her?
Hi,
Hi, I'll give you a moment. Are you ready?
Yeah, I just thought, right now I'm just listening, but I just want to say that I am really grateful that you are listening to us, and it's like working as a team. And I think we have a little some things that we have to improve, but we are doing. I mean, I think you are doing a great job. So I'm working right now, so I just wanted to tell you that really fast. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much for your comment. Our last speaker today is Evelyn Ulysses. Is Evelyn online? Okay. Evelyn, are you on? Hey, Evelyn.
I have a loud in this moment. Sorry.
Thank you.
Give me only just a moment.
If you're ready to begin, you may.
I tried to speak. Sorry about the loud.
Okay.
You listen me?
Please begin. Yes, you're good.
It's too much.
You're fine. Go ahead.
Oh, I can continue. The next
Yes.
person can continue, and when I have. Mm.
You're okay to speak. We're okay. The background noise isn't bothering us. Please, you can speak. Is she muted?
The background noise.
Sorry about the loud.
Oh, that's okay. Evelyn, we're good. Would you like to begin? Are you good?
Yes, yes.
Okay, you may begin. Go ahead.
In my experience, hello, my name is Evelyn. In my experience this week, the shutter working good. Something delayed, but it's not crazy delayed. And working good, working good. 42 Potomac, 37 Castle Shannon arrived something delayed, but arriving in the stop. Every stop have really clarified signal for the people know this stop is for 42, this stop is for 30, for 37, a lot information. If I if I think in the last years was crazy, doesn't have any information, doesn't have any signal in the every stop in these years, I think so. And appreciating working will repeat. A lot delays, but it's not crazy time. It's my experience.
Does that conclude your remarks? Yes. Okay. Thank you, Evelyn. We appreciate your remarks.
Sorry for the loud. Well,
Oh, no, you're perfectly fine. Thank you very much. Before we announce when our next meeting is, I'd like, if members are okay, to give an opportunity to Member Ogorek and Member Tag to say final closing remarks for, I'll say being great board members, but I'd like for you to have the ability to address the board and the audience if you'd like. Okay, Ms. Ogorek, would you like to go first?
Sure, thank you. I moved to Pittsburgh as a young person 24 years ago to work in the planning department at PRT. So I've always had a very soft spot for the organization and the great work that is done here and the mobility that it enables in Allegheny County. So super pleased to have worked here and now served on the board. And then now the work continues because I'm still at the county. So I'll be in your hair for everything else going forward still. But also very pleased to have been on such a dedicated board, working with such dedicated leadership here. So it's great. I've been very pleased and happy, and thank you, everyone. And I can't wait to be at the BRT opening. So just don't leave me off the list.
Thank you. Mr. Tag?
As I had mentioned, my time on the PRT board is coming to an end. And for me, it's been a interesting ride. I'd first like to start off by thanking former County Executive Rich Fitzgerald for appointing me to the PRT board. I've had an opportunity to work with some good and outstanding board chairs, Jack Brooks, Bob Hurley, and especially Jeff Letwin. The staff has changed all over my time on the board, but under Catherine's strong leadership, PRT continues to move forward. I'm not going to mention individual staff members that I've worked with over years because I'm sure I'm going to miss somebody, but hopefully I'll be able to continue conversations with them over the years because I'm like Ann, I'm not going anywhere. I would like to acknowledge, though, Joel Lennon, our longtime general counsel who passed in September 22. He was really a good advisor to me. In fact, one of his roles is to keep an eye on John Tagg, and which he did a pretty good job. I'm also pleased the selection of Tom Bergender, and I've known Tom for a number of years. I actually went to high school with his older brother, and he grew up in Brookline as I did, so there's a connection there too. And I will mention Tom's an attorney, so I just wanted to mention that. But I believe he's going to be a great addition to the board. He's kind of along my lines. He won't talk you to death like I will, but he's basically a good communicator, and he's reasonable in how he approaches things. So I'm looking forward to coming to a board meeting and being a public speaker. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
If I may, on behalf of the board, thank both of you for your service, and I welcome our new members. Very excited to get to know you, meet you, and thank you all for being here. With that, our next regular meeting is scheduled for Friday, July 26th of 2024. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay. Second. Meeting adjourned. Thank you very much, everyone.